Hey, well, go on, everybody. Lennox here from Simple 123 Trader. We're just about to begin the last hour of the New York session, and we're glad to have you join us. Today is Friday, February 11th, and quite the morning so far. From this morning, I was so tired I had to just go back and get some more sleep. Otherwise, I would not be able to make it today to now. But I'll give you an overview of what transpired and from this morning. So let's see here on the. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, what we do here at Forex Mentor, we're looking for in the first thing in the morning. We look at all four of the major indices. This is for the stock market primarily, but it also works for the Forex as well. We're looking at the four major indices: the diamonds, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the Qs, the QQQs, the SPDR, the SPY, and the IWM iShares Russell 2000. And what we're trying to do right off the open or near the close is to try to find an opportunity to jump in and make some quick profits within an hour, and you're done with your day. So that's the whole premise. And this morning, for as an example, we came in on IWM, which is our favorite indice to play, and we jumped in. And actually, I was already in some plays. I had the 205 calls, jumped in there, bought some 202 puts, bought the 202 puts just for insurance, just below here, just in case the market decided to tank, which it has. So my 202 puts became very, very valuable. They were worth over 200 bucks. I bought them for $40 when they're up here, somewhere in here. I bought them for $40 early, and now they were worth well over $200 down here. So that was nice profit from those. And just before I went back to bed, I bought the 204 puts as well, because once I saw that price was not going to continue going up, I decided to turn and buy the 204 puts, and got out of those down here as well. Bought the 204 puts for about $40 as well, or $50 or something like that at most, and got out of those for over $200 as well. So these, actually, I think it went over $300 for these, but this is the kind of power these options, what we play. We buy options, and what we're trying to do, I'll go into a little bit more detail on it, just going to give you an overview of what transpired this morning. But the options are super powerful, and you can buy them for really inexpensive. I think I bought some for $20 today. Let me just check my account here. There's some sales for 40. I got some for 20. No, that's a different. I got $40, $55, $75, and just taking profits off as they're going, as price is dropping. So now at the end, coming to the last hour here, you can see the market is very much depressed. And this morning I was expecting, one more push above this level, but it couldn't do it. Just the bulls were just not strong enough to push it into this pink zone, which is where I was kind of expecting price to go into. So very close, and then the bears came in very strong with this big, you see a big red bar like that. That kind of tells you things are over. We're on the 5-minute chart right now. So that was it. Time to reverse course. We have a 1, 2, 3 top. We get a larger 1, 2, 3 top, and we're on our way down. So right now we're in the last leg of this move down, and even at this point, even though price is pushing back to the upside, it's still not looking very good. I think it's just going to be short-lived, and we're still going to fall one more time to the downside. So what's happening here? We have another 1, 2, 3 top, and yet another forming, and so we're going to push down one more time before the day is done. So I'm still holding a couple of the puts, and we'll see how they play out before the end of the day. Okay, George, you're with me?
I am. I'm on as a panelist.
Oh, okay. I'm just looking at the VXX. You can see the VXX. The VXX is the opposite of the SPYs. So it's the short-term futures, and I have calls in these, and you can see that they have moved up quite nicely as the stock market comes down. So as the stock market moves to the downside, the VXX moves to the upside. So it's the opposite direction move, and it's just very, very powerful instrument. Okay. I'm just going to take a quick, let me go back to IWM here. Just want to keep my eye on IWM because I do have positions still open. I just want to, so here we are on the, this is the hourly time frame. So for those, again, for those of you who are just joining us, it is now just 12, it's 3 minutes after 12. So for anyone who's just joining us just now, all the members of our Forex Mentor group have access to their microphones. They can chat with me, talk with me. If you are not a member of Forex Mentor, you can only type your questions into the chat. I guess that's what that is. So okay,
yes, that's correct. The chat.
Yeah. So I would, I kind of made maybe have made that a bit confusing because there is a questions box and a chat box and microphone. When I say chat, I mean talking to me. But anyways, you kind of get the idea. If you have a microphone, you can talk. If you're a member, if you're not a member, you can't talk. All right. So right now on the hourly, you can see that the market is pushed up, is trying to push back to the upside, but again, I don't think that the bulls have the power to push this market back up. So I think we'll see a final collapse here before the day is out. So that's on the hourly on the 15. They've made a valiant attempt here. I actually had some nice profit going there and didn't take it at this point, but okay, that's fine. Still, I just left from the 204s. I got out. I still had the 202s. I left one in there, and now I'm just a little bit in profit, but I'm looking for that to fall one more time. So it's quite a move back up right now. Actually, I'm quite surprised at that push, especially with this big green bar. But again, I think it's still a fake out move, and we're going to come back down. So we'll see. All right, just to give you an idea of how I look at the charts, and before I continue on, if you have any questions, please let us know. If you have any questions, anyone who wants to ask a question or anything, let me know. I'm just going to get into a few things before. No questions, no comments, nothing. Okay.
No question. No,
all right.
Nothing's in the chat for me.
Okay, so I just want to give you an idea of how I look at the charts. Again, this is primarily for those who are new to this. Okay, I always start looking at the charts, and again, also something I forgot to do this morning was to just give a little brief on myself. I've been trading since the mid 1990s. Started off trading futures and then went into trading options when I realized that with the futures market, futures equals maximum risk. It's really risky. Maximum risk, or you could say unlimited risk. It's totally unlimited, your risk, and but also profit is, risk is also risk and profit are both unlimited. Okay, I can't spell here. Sorry. Wow, that's pretty bad. Profit. Okay, so your profit is unlimited, your risk is unlimited, and it's a very dangerous game, the futures. So I wanted to find something a little less risky and more profitable. So I turned to the options game. And with options, your risk is minimal risk. You can know your risk right off as soon as you start. Similar to Forex, you know your risk right away, and your profit is unlimited. So it's just same deal. So minimum risk is great. What we play primarily, we just buy calls. We buy calls. Sorry for my writing. My mouse is really not cooperating. We buy calls, we buy puts, and that's it. We don't do any selling of calls and selling of puts or anything like that. We just buy calls and buy puts. So that gives us minimum risk, unlimited profit potential. Whereas if you're a seller of the calls or the puts, your risk is unlimited and your profit is limited. So I prefer minimum risk and maximum profits, and hence the reason I do this. Okay, so that's what we do, and this is again similar to the Forex. Forex, your risk is minimum and your profit is maximum or unlimited, and that's the way you should be looking at it at all times. Okay, so yeah, I started in the mid 2000s with the options, and been just doing that ever since. And I've been on Wall Street, not as an employee or owner or whatever, just as a visitor to the city of New York. So I've been on, that's what my extent of Wall Street. I'm not a Wall Street guru or anything like that. I'm just a regular guy who was working for a living, working with the government, and I'm in IT. I'm a systems analyst, and I just wanted to make some extra money to help my young family. I have 4 children, and so I needed to make some extra cash, lots of mouths to feed. So I found the options, and I've never looked back. It's just a boon in my life to be able to do it. In 2017, I met Peter Bain, who is the co-founder of ForexMentor.com, and he was doing trading the Forex market and had the company, the Forex Mentor company, and so forth. And I showed him what I was doing with the stocks and options and so forth, and he told me he would like me to join them. So I started into the world of Forex. Didn't know anything about Forex, and started off there. And after 4 years now, this is coming into our 5th year this year, we decided that we'd like to take a look at the stock market and the options and so forth as well, because it's becoming quite popular. And of course, why is it becoming popular? I think you can see from this monthly chart why we've been in quite a bull run since 2009, and it's been straight up in the air. And I think now the public is getting interested, especially when you look at Bitcoin and so forth. The public always wants to get interested when price is way up here. They're not interested when price is down here. You know, it's the big boys who played when prices are in these ranges, and then taking profits off and so forth in these areas. The public starts to get a peak of interest in these areas here, but mostly when price is way up here, that's when they start to come in. And then it's too late, because at this point, these guys who bought down here and bought down here and so forth are selling off, and then everything starts to come back. This is what's happening right now, and that's why there's a public euphoria for stocks and options and all that kind of stuff. Actually, I think it was last week, they had the most options ever in the stock market, most options played ever. So you can see that the demand for this game is just very high. All right, so that's a little background on myself there, and like I say, I'm just a regular guy. I don't have a crystal ball or anything like that. I just follow a strategy that has worked over and over again. It's called the 1-2-3. It's basically, I'm just looking for this pattern. This is the pattern I'm looking for right there. It occurs over and over and over and over again in the charts. It occurs at every turn in the charts. Every time there's a move in the charts to the downside, it forms a 1-2-3 before it goes. Every time there's a move in the charts to the upside, it forms a 1-2-3 before it returns. It's always the same pattern. It never fails. It might look a little different. I'm drawing it nice and clean there and everything like that. But like here's a 1-2-3. That's an example, right? There's a 1-2-3. There's a 1-2-3. There's a 1-2-3. They're everywhere. So because they're everywhere, it's a simple concept, simple thing you can see and so forth. But the challenge is to find the right ones to jump into, to play, to get into these moves. So that's our challenge. The entries and so forth are, intricate. You can enter. This is our entry area. We want to be able to get into our trade anywhere in this area. And after that, we had to set targets that we set out. And that's basically the premise. So it's a simple concept. We look for opportunities to just get into this move and go to these targets, and out we go. Okay, so that's the basics of the simple 1-2-3. So how I look at the charts to find these patterns is I look at the charts from a bird's eye view, or like you're up in an airplane. And so here's for example, with the IWM, here's the entire chart from back in the 90s, 2000s. So I can see that, if this is higher, the low here is 34.26. The low here looks lower, is 32. Yeah, so that's lower. So since this is the low, that is a 1-2-3. So there is our first 1-2-3, and I also use the Elliott wave, because the Elliott wave is also part of the structure. So the Elliott wave calls this 1, and then this would be 2 in Elliott wave. And so then we make this big run. So this would be 3 in Elliott wave. So this is where, if we were in this 1-2-3, we'd be looking to take profits in this area if you were to get into this 1-2-3 at this point. And then this would be the fourth wave. So that's our fourth wave. And then we push up one more time. So this would be our fifth wave. So you can see that the structure is complete at this point. Where is it going to go from here? The expected move would be another push back up into this area, and then a big fall. And that fall could be catastrophic, as you can see. So this is where we're sitting right now. That's a look at it. So the structure is the key to the market, and the structure is consistent, and this is it. So that's all I look at. I'm looking, again, we're looking for this to enter, or for, you know, one to form here to enter, 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 that type of thing. Okay, so that's the basics of it. If you can catch this one here, that's the ultimate. You get all this move. Okay, so that's a look at the overall structure. Okay, so that's what the key to everything is the structure. So once you understand the structure, and I'm going to just put this back on for a second. Once you understand the structure, then you can understand where you are in the structure. So if you know where you are in the structure, then everything opens up for you, and you can make plays and make decisions by going into the market and taking advantage of moves. Okay, so understanding where you are in the structure is the key. So right now we can see we're here. Let me make this a little fatter. Right now we're here. So that means we're in here at this point in the structure. So understanding that, again, we can have an idea of what the next expected move would be. And we have to have an expectation of where the market's going to go. Otherwise, we can't even play this game at all. So that's the whole thing. All right, so let me make this a little bigger. So right now we've completed this leg, it looks like, at this point. So I'm going to go down to the weekly, the weekly time frame. Look at this. So on the weekly, we're looking at that last leg. We had this one, and we came across, went up, and now we're in this downward mode. So is this complete to the downside as yet? It doesn't look so. It looks like we still have a little bit more drop as possible, and then we would be coming back up again. This coming back up would be a fake out move where we kind of get a head and shoulders type of affair, and then all bets are off. We should be coming back down in a hurry. Now, of course, I could be wrong. There's nothing that says you know, like I said, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm just looking at the structure. So if I'm wrong, this could take off and continue going up. That's totally possible. That's the only other scenario, really, at that point. You know, we can go sideways for a while, like how we did over here. But you know, essentially, we're either going to break through and continue up, or we're going to break down. So one or the other. Okay. So that's the weekly time frame. So on the daily time frame, so I follow the chart by looking at, you know, this type of thing. So on the daily time frame, I had previous trend lines that were showing, you know, here. So with this move down, we were expecting price to bounce off this trend line. It did, and then formed another move, bounced again. So basically, this entire move here retraces, coming back into this area, now has dropped again. So this entire move down here also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a structure coming back up into this area, and like Stacy pointed out this morning, we could be in a fourth wave area, and that's basically where we are. Looks like we're in a fourth wave area, and we should be dropping one more time to the downside. So that's from the daily point of view. You can see, like I say, it's very weak. Let's go
I have a question for you when you finish this.
Okay, go ahead.
Question is, what option broker do you recommend? And any options related advice will be much appreciated. Thanks.
Okay, we use, George and I, we use Thinkorswim platform. That's TD Ameritrade. So there are many brokers. So it's all up to you. You can use your, you know, I have a brokerage account through my bank as well, which is TD Bank, and that's why I have the TD Ameritrade. So I can trade through my bank's brokers or through TD Ameritrade. So I use a Think or Swim platform. That's how I trade. But you can use any, there are so many brokerages around that, so I use TOS here, and it's quite comprehensive. But there are many brokers, so whichever ones in your area and so forth that you like, and that gives reasonable prices for options and so forth. Yeah, that's where I'd go. I don't, I'm not gonna say yes, you should use TOS, but I think George and I would say, yeah, it's a fantastic environment, so we like it a lot. We can do all kinds of scans and things like that, and create our own little queries and so forth to find things. Like I was showing earlier, and I get into that in a little bit, but showing about insider trading and so forth this morning. It's very powerful. We can find lots of information. That we can do all those kind of scans in TOS and so forth to find insider trading. Because with options, unlike stocks, every option play has to be public. Is public. So every play in the options is made public, and that's just huge. So we can see all the big boys and what they're trading. So we can look at any instrument at any time and see who's trading it, how much they bought, when they bought it, why they're buying it, and so forth. So it's really, really very super powerful. Okay. So for the options, we have a web page that gives an overview of how we play the options. So that would be helpful for anyone that's starting out. But there are many places online, Investopedia, things like that. You can just go and search on options. Again, basically, we just do the calls and the puts, so it's very straightforward. It's not complicated in any way, at all. So it makes it very simple for you to understand. All right, so this is our daily look at the chart. So now if I drop down to the 4-hour time frame, this is what I'm seeing. So on the 4-hour, that diagonal line here, that's a 1, 2, 3 top. So this is the 1, 2, 3 top. That's controlling this move to the downside. It came down in a structure. It's moved back up. And so this looks like, again, at a fourth wave area. So when we get a 1, 2, 3 top here, that's going to push us down into this move. So this on the 4-hour, this is a playable 1, 2, 3. There's our area of entry. And you can get in anywhere in here, and that would have been the play to the downside. So you can play this on any time frame. Doesn't matter if it's a daily, hourly, 1 minute, 5 minute, doesn't matter. 1 hour. Okay, now on the 1 hour, you can clearly see the 1, 2, 3 top that is formed, and we're looking for this to push to the downside. So that's how we kind of look at it. So there are plays where at certain points in the chart, you can take a 1, 2, 3 bottom like this on the hourly, and you can make that move. You could even play this 1, 2, 3 top, but you have to be aware of where you are when you're doing that. It's you're not going to get the same bang as this one because of the fact that you've got a 1, 2, 3 here. That means you're not done the move, so you have to be careful about taking this as a counter trend move. Okay, so a trade like this here with a 1, 2, 3 top, that's a nice move to the downside, that kind of thing. All right, so that's on the hourly. So I'm going to keep going down. I'm going to go down to the 15. So on the 15-minute time frame, this again, this entire thing is our 1, 2, 3 top, and we're on the way down. So again, it formed another 1, 2, 3 top here, another opportunity to enter at this point. So this entire area is your entry area, but you could have entered with more precision in this area, or even in here. That's more really the ideal point to enter. You could also enter up here because there's a 1, 2, 3 here, and that would have been even more precision and less risk. You can see that your risk is mitigated at this point. So just to give you an example, let me just make this a little bigger. At this point here in the chart, we could enter right here. Did that again. We could enter right here, and that's really precision playing. But you know, that's, you have to be down on the 1 minute chart to find that kind of entry. All right, and then this is the 15, so I'll go to the 5 minute chart. So the 5 minute chart will show me this area and down, right? So let me drop down to the 5 minute chart. And there we are. So on the 5 minute chart, entry here again, or you can be patient and wait the whole thing out. And another opportunity for an entry here, again with precision. So this is really small area of entry, and you know, it stops right there or stop here, and you can take advantage of those moves. So at this point now, we're kind of, you know, it's a little bit of a battle, but I can see this still finishing off on the downside overall. I would think before the day's out. I'm saying that because I'm in a position right now, so I wanted this thing to drop, right? But you can see that overall we're in a weak position anyways. So that's the 5 minute, and I can come right down to the 1 minute time frame, and we can look at this in more detail. So again, on the 1 minute time frame, everything starts off with a 1, 2, 3 bottom and or top. So let me just clear that here. Here, this is the low bar. So this first move is a 1, 2, 3, but we just can't see it because it's so small. If we could go down to the seconds, you could see that, and that's an entry right there. You could have entered that move to go to the upside. This whole thing becomes, this entire move becomes a 1, 2, 3, and that takes you up to that level. This here's a 1, 2, 3 top at that point, entry area again. So this is just it. Like I say, you see it over and over and over again. It's once you get an understanding of where you are overall, you can take advantage of these moves. So hence the reason why I was able to, from this morning, let me just go to the 15 so we can get a better look. So from this morning, actually I can go back to the 5. Let me go back to the 5 because I can see the whole thing. Okay, so from this morning's entry, we are in from here up, and then I'm in all the way down. And this is just, like I say, limited risk, maximum profits. And that's what we wanted. That's what we want to get. And you can, like I say, you can be done in the first, I was basically out of this position in the first hour of the morning, thereabouts. And this afternoon, the early morning, later morning, out of these positions pretty quick as well. So you don't have to be watching the charts every second and so forth. You know, you can just get in and out, and your day is done. And that's the power of the 1, 2, 3. All right. So again, if anyone has any questions, please.
Once there's a question, can you drop your options page link here from, please?
I think that's available to members only. So I don't think, if you're not a member, I don't think you're going to be getting access to that at this moment in time. So if this is a member asking, they know where the page is.
Yeah, right.
If you're not a member, I'm sorry, you will not be able to access that information. Okay, the other thing we look at is on a regular basis, we look at the futures here in the Forex, and in the same four, the Dow, the Nasdaq, the S&P 500, and the US 2000 Russell. And we also, for the Forex, we look at the US dollar index. Now the US dollar index The reason we look at the US dollar index is because the US dollar index is the key to the major pairs. So understanding what the US dollar index is doing helps you to play the major pairs. So always start off on the monthly, take a look at the chart. On the weekly, you can see that the US dollar index is pushing a little higher today, and it's looking to go to the upside. So since the US dollar index is strong today, here I'm on the 4-hour, and with strength to the upside, you can see that we do have a 1, 2, 3 at this point, so we could look for price to continue going up, perhaps. So based on that, we know then that the euro US dollar, which is the opposite of this chart, will be going to the downside. So if I put the euro US dollar, the euro US dollar is going to the downside. So you see it's doing the opposite. So that right away, by knowing what the major US dollar index is doing, you can go into the euro US dollar and make money. So that's really super powerful. So also because of that, we would know also that the Aussie US dollar is doing a similar thing. And you can see that it's a little slower. We've got a 1, 2, 3. It's not past the number 2 point as yet, but it's looking like we want to continue down. So again, so now you have an opportunity to play the Aussie to the downside. The other one would be the GBP US dollar. It should also be doing a similar thing, and you can see that's the case. So there's the 1, 2, 3 at that point, and we'd be looking for that to come down to break that and to break that level. So again, you're sitting in this one, you're sitting in a really good spot because it's still low. Well, actually not that low, but you're still in that area anyways for that play. And the last one is the New Zealand US dollar. That should be doing a similar thing as well. And there it is. It's also doing. So they're all doing the opposite of what the US dollar is doing. So that's what we'd be looking for to play in those 4 or 5 major pairs there. All right. Then we can look at the US. All these are major pairs. USD CAD will be going the opposite of these guys because it's looking to do what the US dollar is doing. So there we go, and it's looking to go the opposite way. So it's just like that. And then we have the USD Swiss, which will be doing the same move, and it's looking also to go to the upside. And USD JPY should also be doing that. In this case, it's not. And this is sometimes, this doesn't always work. Some of them are, especially the USD JPY, can be totally different. And the reason for that is when things are moving down in the US stock market, people move into the USD JPY and the US dollar for safety. But at this point, I don't know what the US dollar is just weak against JPY for whatever reason. And usually it's strong, but so this could turn around, of course, and push back up. Nothing there to play at this point on this one compared to the others.
Lennox, a question
yes.
when break.
Okay.
The fellow non-member is asking the question, you're not clear on your 1, 2, 3 platforms. They're not obvious as you mark them. Can you please elaborate on that?
On the what?
On the, I guess it's talking about the 1, 2, 3 stuff. On our platform, we do have detailed information on how Lennox plots them, etc. I don't.
Yeah, it's definitely not something you're going to pick up, in one little half an hour session. So I'm going through this rather quickly and so forth. So it's not, again, something that you're going to pick up and say, oh, I get it. Hopefully you would, but I don't think that's realistic. So I've gone over it in pretty much a good deal of depth. So if you're not grasping it, what I'm showing, it's going to take you a bit. I would say it would take someone who's never seen this before 3 to 6 months or more to fully get an understanding of what's really going on, because there's a lot to it. The concept is simple, but playing this and trying to be consistent is not as simple. Okay, so
also asking how come you're not using the Auto 123 EA on this? Well,
actually, Auto
right now
123
we're working on a different platform.
the Auto 123 is actually running as we speak. So that's why I don't even bother coming into the Forex, because it's running for me as we speak right now. So it is actually live and running. Gold, we look at gold and take a look at gold to see what gold is doing. We also look at Bitcoin to get a gauge as to what the cryptocurrencies are doing. And in this case, you can see that here we had a 1, 2, 3, another 1, 2, 3. We pushed up to this level. So the expected move here would be another push to the upside, expected, but we've hit that 200. So might be a tough grind here for Bitcoin. So that's kind of just to give you an idea of what we look at. All right, and then we look at also barchart.com is one of my favorite sites. Barchart.com. I look at insider trading. I look also at unusual. Let me just wait for this to refresh. I've got a number of things open, so see if I can close some stuff down here. Okay, so I also look at in stocks. I look at the insider trading activity. There's so many there's so many things in here. Top 100 stocks, all kinds of stuff, sectors. There's a plethora of things. You can look at blockchain stocks, biotechnology stocks, EV stocks, all kinds of stuff. Options, what we more looking at. I like to look at the unusual options activity, unusual options volume. And this really opens your eyes to understand what's really going on in the markets underneath everything that you see, because it's smoke and mirrors in this world. And when you start to see what's really going on, this is when you start to understand what's really happening. So this is very super powerful stuff, and we can look at the volume based on the call volume or the volume of the options here, and you can just look at any instrument that's being traded. You can see the open interest, that's the number of contracts that are open, and the volume, how many are trading, and you can get a gauge as to what's playable. So like, for example, Zillow is very, very huge open interest and volume. So something's going on in there. So you would look at, we could go and take a look at Zillow. You can see the market starting to come down. We're going into the last half hour here now. So Zillow, let's take a look and see why it's such a big hit. And that's going back here. It says Zillow, where is that? Was that? 86,000 volume. It's not telling you what's being bought or sold, but it's just giving you that there's huge volume in this instrument. So it looks like maybe lots of puts are being bought at this point. So that will be a one to kind of look at, and okay, maybe this will be a play or something, So that's kind of how we look at things. That's how I found that S123 stock. I was looking at on unusual options activity. I was looking at on stocks insider trading activity, and this is super powerful. When you see this screen, this will really open your eyes to the realities of the market here. So I can search by types of transactions. So I'm going to just select buys, and I'm going to select include politicians. And this is just a small, this site here. I can do this same type of scan in TOS and get even more information. But this is, once you see the screen when it unfolds here, it's pretty cool. Okay, so just as an example, I'll go by transaction total. Just to go from the highest to the lowest. Sorry, I've got so many things open. My computer's a little bit slow here. Okay, and I went the wrong way. Let's go the opposite way. Okay. Just to give you an example here. So here's a transaction. This is from a guy named Farhad Nanji. He bought 256,000 shares at a price of $59. His total transaction was 15 million. So somebody's buying $15 million worth of stock, PFSI, at $59 per share for 50. You know, this has got to be, he's got to know something. So PFSI, take a look at it. Never heard of the stock. And we can just take a PennyMac Financial. So there it is. So let me go to the daily. So he's buying, I'm going to go to the weekly just to kind of get an idea. Okay, so he's buying $15 million worth of stock at this point in the chart. That says a lot. Somebody he must know that this thing is getting set up to move, because you wouldn't really buy in this area. You know, I mean, yeah, I guess you could, yes, and you do, but it's a very dangerous area. You know, this choppy area here. We had a 1, 2, 3 down here. We pushed up to this level, so we're in huge choppiness. And then at this point here, he's buying over $15 million worth of stock. So I would be looking very closely at this to see if there's an option play opportunity to the upside. So looking at this going down 4 hour, I'd be looking for a possible play to the upside. So that's the kind of thing just having this information gives us. So I did that with a stock called S123, and I think I don't think Martin is with us. Is Martin with us this afternoon?
Yeah,
he was with us.
Before.
He's with us still. There he is.
Thanks.
Not hearing you too well there, Martin, but we bought this options in this because the CEO of this company bought a huge amount, 1.25 million shares in this company. And you can see why. The price was way up here at the 140 some odd area, 145, and dropped all the way down to 45. And then he's buying 1.25 million shares down here. So he knows something, obviously. So take advantage of that and jump in, bought some calls. And, you know, I bought them for really inexpensive, less than $1.50, which is times 100 shares, if you're not aware of that. So that equals $150. So they quote them in cents, but they're actually in dollars when you're buying $150, $1.50, and they were worth almost $1,000 here. So they were worth 10 or $1,000, right? So let's say 1,000, and I was able to get out at 800 for those, and it's just simply astounding the kind of profits you can make. And you know, it's only a matter of a couple of weeks on that move. So just super powerful stuff. The other thing we look at are the earnings reports. How is our time here? 12:45. Okay, we got 15 minutes.
Yeah, there is one question too when you get a chance, but it's
Okay, go ahead.
okay.
Go
The
ahead.
question is on the British pound. He's asking if you, on the 5-minute chart, do you see a setup, a 1, 2, 3 setup?
For the British pound, okay. GBP/USD. Okay, so we ascertained that these were all coming to the downside, right? So
That's right, because the
I
dollar
think that's
is,
what we did. So 4 hours coming down. Let's go down 1 hour. Okay, so we're kind of in a choppy affair here, so you have to be careful here. 15-minute, very choppy. Okay, so we're on our way down at this point. So essentially, I'm looking at this quickly, but so you always have to look at this structure that I show. It's always constant. So once you understand that, anytime we get this structure, you expect price to retrace the structure. So that's why you can put the fibs on. So I can put the fibs on. You put the fib retracement tool. Put that on there. So that's to the high and tells me, the 50% to 62% area. This is usually where price will come back into. This is kind of the sweet spot. So anytime you see price hovering in this area, you would want to start to look for opportunities to buy or sell depending on which direction you're going. So I'm on the 15 right now, so then I'll drop to the 5-minute. And on the 5-minute, there's nothing set up at this point, but on the 1-minute there would be. So if I went on to the 1-minute, so on the 5-minute, no, there is no 1, 2, 3 because this is higher. This is lower than, I think. Let me just, yeah, this is higher. Looks like. Let me just double check. So this low here is 13542, 13542. Oh, it's a tie. Wow. It's a tie. I'm surprised. It looks like it's just a little higher, but it's not. It's a tie. So a tie is okay. So, but it's not, it's not the greatest looking 1, 2, 3. It's you want a 1, 2, 3 that's where you don't really have a tie. But so this could mean continued move to the downside. So you have to be careful. Remember, we looked at all these pairs and we surmised that we're in a move to the downside. So at this point here, we have a 1, 2, 3 top, and we've come down to this level. So I would surmise that any moves to the upside are going to be short-lived, and we're going to still continue to the downside. So I wouldn't be faked out by jumping in at this point to go long. Okay, so be aware of that. Okay, remember US dollar is showing strength. So because of that, I wouldn't want to be looking to go long on GBP US dollar. Okay. All right, let's see. How's my IWM doing? Am I still okay, or am I dead in the water? Okay, dead in the water now. Okay, so that's, I think I've just lost my, yeah, it drops really quickly. So with, I had some profits down here, but didn't take it. So now the one that I had left trailing is back down to less than 10 cents now. So unless we get a huge capitulation right at the end, that's basically a dead. But it's all good. It was a very small. It'll be a very small loss, and that's the key to the game. If you're going to lose, make sure that your losses are small and you're okay with the losses. That's the main thing. All right. The other thing we look at are the earnings, and this is when earnings season is on, like now. This is super powerful. We play the earnings. Have had some success with the earnings overall. There have been, of course, some that I haven't had any wins with, but again, keeping the losses small is the key to that. But there's ways that we can play this to maximize profits and minimize risk as well. So those are the kind of things we get into. But the earnings season is just super fantastic. You can catch really super moves. One, for example, on Facebook, saw the setup for Facebook, and unfortunately, I was not able to get into that move, but that called it to the downside here, but did not get into that move. And so that would have been a sweet one. I called Amgen to go, Amgen, AMGN, called Amgen to go down on this move at this point, from this point, but was wrong. It went up instead. But you can see it's right back down to almost where it was. So it's interesting. Yeah. Okay. Played Clorox and caught this one for that drop. This was a good one. This is like I don't know, $150 in and $1,600 out. So this is just overnight. Buy this before the market closed on a Wednesday when they give their earnings, and then the next morning, you're out for that kind of money, $1,600, $1,400. I think I missed getting out at the $1,600. I got it out at $1,400 eventually, but it was at $1,600 at one point. Ended up the day at over $2,000. So had I stayed in for the rest of the day, could have got out for $2,000. So from $150. So that's what I'm talking about. Minimum risk. This is what the key to this is, minimum risk. So if you can afford to risk that kind of money, then the opportunities are huge. Even if you only doubled your $150, you'll be happy with that. So it's just super amazing what you can do, and that's what these are the things we play, and we have a really good success with them. And of course, we have the EAs that someone brought up, and we're have those going. We have them in our live accounts. We have them in demo accounts. We're testing on a VPS and so forth. And we also have our alerts. Let's see where's our alert stuff. Quick. Yes. Okay, we go here to. Whoops. Okay, not having a good time here. There it is. Okay. Just a quick look at our alerts and summary. So for our members, they get alerts on the hourly, the 4-hour, all the majors, and shows a list of the recent 10. Still trying to. So we got some alerts there. No, we didn't have any others. So shows the recent 10 and so on, and then the H1s, H4s, and majors. This is a summary of our results for our automated alert system. This is run by a gentleman in Australia for us, and he shows these are the results from the alerts over the last since November of 2020, I believe.
2020, yes, November 2020.
November 2020.
Yeah, we started with $5,000.
Yeah, this was our start.
We've increased 158%.
This is our lot size 0.1.
Lot size of 0.1.
And we're up 158% in with that, and showing the net profit and so forth. And each week we get a tally of the number of pips that we've made. And we're not going to win every week, but we try it. I mean, there's no trying. It's just these are the stats. So we have, of course, we have losing weeks, but we try to keep them as small as possible. This was a big one, mind you, but then the wins take care. One win takes care of a few losses and so forth. So it's pretty good. 158% return is pretty nice. So, all right, so that's our time now. Okay, we got 5 minutes left. All right, so that's again, a look at the things that we do here, and so the options, like I say, is very powerful. It's not complicated. If you it's just like, again, if you're familiar with the forex, it's basically the same type of thing. You're buying if you think it's going up, or you're selling if you think it's going down. That's basically all it is. So see how IWM is doing at the end. So back down to the 5. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I've totally lost that now. So was expecting for it to continue down. So what it's doing right now, since we have a 1, 2, 3 top here, what the market is doing right now is just consolidating at this point. So we could expect on Monday morning that we should open up down in this area more than likely, and to continue. Of course, it's also possible that overnight trading will move it down, and then we could open up here. So we'll see how that kind of plays out, but it's just in the consolidation mode here at this point. Okay, so that's a look at how we do things here. Like I say, opportunities are always there in the markets, and we concentrate on just a few things just to make it simple. The US dollar to control the major pairs. Here the key component that we look at here is the not bad, guys. Let me put ES again.
It's interesting that the SPYs and the Qs are all trending down, whereas the IWM is holding at this point.
Yeah, so the S&P futures is one of the keys to the stock market. So just like the US dollar index is a key to the major pairs, so the S&P futures is the key to the stock market. So whatever the stock market is doing, it's all based on what this guy is doing. So if you can see what this is doing beforehand, just like we did with the US dollar index, then you have an idea and a fighting chance to go and pick any stock, basically, because they're all comprised, they're all in this index. It moves all. It's the stocks. The stocks don't move unless this guy's moving. So it's super powerful to understand that concept, and
also the nice thing about that is you have a lot of liquidity.
Indeed. So we play the indexes because it's tough to go and find the individual stocks to play, and you can just use the index to gauge what those stocks are doing. Yeah, so that's
1 more minute to the bell.
Yes. Okay, I just wanted to see if I could see. Okay, it's not giving it to me. So this is okay. I'm just gonna real quickly show you. There's the bell that we're done. One of the here's a TOS. Some of the cool things that you can do in TOS. I've got the earnings, just like I was showing you earnings calendar just before. I have the earnings calendar, and here I can look at earnings. I can look at splits. I can look at whatever I want. So there are the earnings. I can take off splits. I can take off conference calls. I could all that kind of stuff. I can take off all this stuff and just look at whatever I want to look at. So it's showing me what stocks are giving earnings on what days and so forth. What I like about Market Chameleon, what I just showed you with the earnings, is that it gives us a previous move and so on. You can get all that information in here as well, but it's a little bit more tedious to get at. However, there's so many things in this. Like I say, it's just simply overwhelming. So I don't want to get into too much, but I think you basically need a PhD here, right, George, to get around?
Yeah, it's got a lot of information.
Yes, indeed. So
you want to get more information, you go to a Bloomberg terminal, and that only costs about $3,000 a month.
That's right. So we do scans. Scans are just queries that we can make. So I've done this scan to give me options that are that I want to look at, and tell me which ones are unusual. So I'm looking for huge volume and so forth, and huge open interest, and that tells me, okay, you know, the Qs would be a good play, or Tesla would be a good play, and these are actual trades that are going on that you know, the big banks and so forth, institutions are trading. So it's very super powerful. And again, the key to it is to be able to discern. Yeah, it's one thing to know that, oh yeah, you can buy SOFI 100 weekly February 11th 13.5 calls, but is it a worthwhile play? So you need to be able to discern from the charts whether the setup looks good and so forth, and is it worthwhile to take that trade. So that's the kind of thing that you have to be aware of. So in here, there's so many things. Like I say, it's just, you can do probability analysis, you can look at economic data, you can do risk profiles. It's just a plethora of stuff. The charts are just amazing. You can do all kinds of things with the charts. You can add all kinds of thousands of indicators, and so it's just a world of stuff in here. And yeah, so this is a trading pane. You can see all the trade, all the options and so forth. It's very, very powerful platform. And those are some of my trades from today that were filled, and so on. And so I was trying to get out of this one here at the end, but I did not. I just had that one left, mind you, so it wasn't that dramatic. Could have sold it for $8, but that's probably my commission, so it wouldn't have mattered. All right, so that's a look at the world of the TOS, and we're also at the end of the session for this week. So we appreciate you coming and joining us, and we hope that you get a little something out of that, and some idea of what we do here at forexmentor.com. So are there any other outstanding questions before we say au revoir? Are we all good?
I don't see any more questions. So everybody have a great weekend and stay healthy.
All right. Okay, once again, thanks everybody. We'll see you on Monday. Monday is going to be exciting because it's another week, and we should have a full house hopefully for the Monday morning session. So looking forward to that one. Take care, everyone. Be safe.
Have a great
Stay away
weekend.
from COVID, people. And have a great weekend. Bye now. Thank you, George.
Thank you, Lennox. Talk to you later.